Today is part 2 from our meeting 2 weeks ago. We talked about the referral mindset and the transaction mindset. And if y'all remember, we talked about the hospitalian and the difference between service and hospitality. And we covered 3 things, the 5 keys to earning referrals. And this is all taken from Larry Kendall's ninja selling process for generating referrals. I don't know if y'all have heard of Larry Kendall. He has some ninja selling courses in Leading RE's Access, and I've watched a couple of them. They are really good, and he just breaks things down so simply. And I think that's part of the challenge today is things have gotten a little overcomplicated when we need to kind of get back to just the basics, and that's what this is about. So today we're just covering consistency and your follow-up, which is what he calls your flow. And the question is, we were kind of talking about this earlier, is why do agents spend thousands of dollars attracting or chasing strangers? Why do we spend thousands of dollars on Zillow, social media? I mean, why do we do that? It works. And the reason it works is because 74% of agents do not follow up with their clients after they close. So it works to pay Zillow to buy zip code leads because the agent that sold them a house or worked with them in the past is simply not following up with them. Same thing with social media. And I don't know, has that changed much, Alan, since you've been in business? This has changed a lot since the internet was introduced to real estate. When you could meet someone besides word of mouth. I could go find someone online. And you would have thought agents would be doing a better job at following up with their past clients. But 74%, and we've talked about that before, it's crazy that people don't follow up consistently. And so what happens, and we're going to get into it, is, so how do you do that? How do you establish consistency? And then how do you establish flow with your past clients? It is really easy. We are not going to talk about setting productivity goals and I'm going to generate 12 referrals this month and $10,000 a month. Consistency is just about setting activity goals. Being very simple. I'm going to write 2 notes a day. How hard is it to write 2 personal notes a day? It takes like maybe 10 or 15 minutes at the most, depending on how many children are running into wherever you're sitting when you're trying to write a note. So send 2 to 3 pieces each month. Piece. What's a piece? A note, an email, postcard, newsletter, and then I'm going to make 5 phone calls a day. Could be to your existing clients. This is not cold calling. It's just I'm going to call 5 people a day and talk to them on the phone. If you have 5 listings, then and you want to call every seller that day, then call every seller. I don't recommend calling them every day, but the point is these don't have to be new people. They can be people that you know. And creating activities is what helps you connect that to consistency. Because if I told you, well, Alan, you want to make $10,000 this month, let's set a goal based on your production and what you need to do. If you set activity goals and you consistently do these things, then the money is going to take care of itself. The money will come after if you do those things. This is just a simple example. That's not the golden rule on what to do, but I was just giving an example of what you could do now to be consistent. And it's just little things. So what is flow? Larry Kendall says flow is frequency of interaction. Why does your past client who you sold a house to 3 years ago not call you when they're ready to list and buy something else? It's because you are not in flow. you were not the person they thought of, and someone else moved in on your social network with them. Now they know Matt, who's a brand new agent. They see him at the club, or they see him at the grocery store, and he lives in the neighborhood. And I got news for you. You can't live in every neighborhood where your clients live. But that's how some people get business, is because agents don't follow up with their past clients. And it's that simple. So, frequency of interaction. How can you be consistent, and how can you be frequent with your interaction? Well, let's talk about these. What is valuable? What is valuable information? It's not valuable to us. It's, what do your customers want to receive? And most customers just want to receive information that either solves a problem or makes them feel good. They don't necessarily want to know how many homes you sold last month, which, by the way, we think is very impressive and important, and we are extremely proud of you. But most clients, it's not valuable to them. That doesn't make them necessarily feel good, and it doesn't solve a problem. So, an example would be market stats. And this is the example we're going to use throughout these next steps, because it's really easy to follow. So, market stats might make them feel good if the market's improving. It might solve a problem. The problem is, I don't know what's going on in the local real estate market. Okay, that's easy. I'm a real estate agent. I can educate my client. So the valuable information we're choosing is market stats. Well, then you've got to customize it. So not just market stats about the entire Muskogee County or Harris County market or Russell or Lee. I'm going to send them specific information. I'm going to send them information about their specific neighborhood. So maybe I'll send market stats on just Rocky Shoals or Maple Ridge or their specific community, or maybe the area. Some you have to go a little larger. Some neighborhoods may be too small. But so I'll drill down on market stats for their neighborhood. And then I'm going to personalize it. This is a golden little nugget, so I hope everybody writes this down. Send this on a note. Write a personal note. Dear Alan, I was just thinking about you this week while I was reviewing the market stats for your area. My results show that homes in Gray Rock are generally selling around $150 a square foot. If you'd like to chat about it later, give me a call. That's so much more powerful than sending out an email or a postcard that has general information, right? Because not only was that valuable, I personalized it and customized it to make Alan what? It made him feel good. When you get a note from somebody, that makes you feel good that somebody was thinking about me, and they took the time to just let me know they were thinking about me. So, the last piece of flow is art and science. And as we talked about, you have to think about what your customers want to hear from you. So you have to focus on what are their needs. Alan's needs are going to be much different than Matt's needs, and Tom's needs, and Chris's needs. So, how can I be, let's go back. I want to be valuable. I want to customize it. I want to be personalized. And it's got to be part art and science. I've got to be thinking, what does Alan need from me that's going to achieve all of those things? Right? Does that make sense? This is so key. Personalize. I promise you no one is doing that here. And even if folks are watching right now on Facebook, I challenge you to do it too. It's so easy. Hey, I was thinking about you, and just want to let you know the market activity for your area has increased 5%. If you'd like to chat about it, give me a call. That's it. You could do that for your past clients every quarter. And we know the market doesn't change that much, but what if something changed with them? They got a new job, or they had another milestone in their life that you weren't aware because you weren't interacting with them frequently, so they didn't think that you would need to know because they haven't heard from you in a while. That's the real risk, is that when we don't follow up with our clients, then someone else follows up with them just because they're more engaged. So again, that's just with the market data, but you could do something else. You could find a way to make it more personal for them. But you have to be thinking about what would my customer want to hear or see from me? Not what do I want to send them this month, because I got to check off my list of what I mailed out before someone asked me, are you sending anything to your past clients? Yeah, I'm sending them something. What is it? I don't know. I haven't sent it yet, but I'm going to do it. But if you make it easy and create these actionable plans, 2 notes a day. Maybe it's 1 note a day. Maybe that's more realistic. 1 note a day is still a lot if you're doing 0. That's a huge improvement. But if you personalize that note to your past clients, that could be really, really valuable. So we haven't identified the specific monetary benefit, but the benefits of doing this are pretty easy to understand. You will generate more business. I promise you will. You also build stronger relationships with your clients, because the truth is, y'all are always thinking about your clients and figuring out ways to help them. They just don't always think about you because they're not always selling a house. And when that moment comes up to make a decision, if you're not top of mind, there's 8 or 10 more agents they could probably call. And so they do, because the average consumer spends, it's like 9 to 20 months in the search process. They go back and forth at dinner table. Do you want to move here? Do we really want to start looking? But once they start to look for real estate, they pick an agent in less than a week. And if y'all have called any of these leads from the website or from Zillow or anywhere else, people will work with the first person they speak with, and it's crazy. But they will tell you, I signed up on 4 other websites today. You're the first person that called me back. Which is why everyone tells you to follow up within 15 minutes or less. And I know some of y'all have been successful at making contact with them because you've told me, and because it's the truth. They have bought before, but nobody's built a relationship with them. So if you do these simple things, everything else will follow. I thought this was a great quote to share. Your life becomes a printout resulting from the small decisions you make each day that are compounded over time. If you wrote 1 note a day, and let's not count Saturday and Sunday, because let's be honest, who's going to write a note on Saturday and Sunday? I'm not writing a note on Saturday and Sunday. So if you wrote 2 notes a day during the work week, that's 10 notes a week, right? That is a lot. How many notes is that a year? That's like 2 orders of stationery. You'd have to restock your stationery every 6 months if you did that. And maybe you don't want to buy the Crane's $1.50, a note stationery. But just think if you did that for 3 months. It's 120 notes. That is a lot. So maybe you don't have 120 people to send a note to. Wow, you send a note to someone each month? That is really strong. If you just had 30 or 40 people on your list and you sent a handwritten note that's 2 or 3 sentences to each person once a month, and you did that for 3 more months, 4 more months, that could have a huge impact on your business. Not today, but a couple months from now. And that's easy stuff to do, and I promise y'all, we've talked about that before. It's the same thing with direct mail. People don't really send it right, which is why it works when it checks the boxes off on those categories where it's customizable, so it means something, it's valuable, and it's somewhat personalized. But if you put some of that information on a note, people would think you were the greatest real estate agent in the world. You wrote me a note about what you think the market's doing in my area? You didn't say, hey, I think I can sell your house for $187. I got a client in the car. You want to let me in? I said, hey, I'm thinking about you. I was doing a market research on your area, and it looks like homes have improved 4%, or the average square footage has gone up some. When that hits the right person, that is a really powerful tool. So I'll leave you with this. This is why so many agents do not get referrals from their past clients. Well, there's really two reasons. One, they don't realize that your next transaction is embedded in this one. So they don't hit it out of the park on that first transaction. But maybe they don't do a terrible job, okay? So just based on the job that they perform with that client for that transaction, there's a 50-50 chance that client may use them again. And the only way to overcome any of that is if you follow up. And 74% of agents don't ever follow up. So here's the news. You can do a bad job. People will forgive you if you're likable, right? We make mistakes. Things happen. But if you make a mistake and they forgive you, oh my God, I was so worried. So worried that they're never going to use me again because we barely got through that transaction. And then you don't do anything for the next couple months, the next year, they won't work with you again. So it's so easy to forget about that and have a transaction mindset instead of the referral mindset. So our challenge for you is to be thinking about some simple activities, simple actions you can take each day that will get you closer to having more business than you can handle, build stronger relationships with your clients, and the money is not something you'll have to set a goal for, because it will come because you're doing these small, simple things that build value for your business every day. And your clients do business with you again, and they start sending you referrals as well. Because when you think about 74%, that's huge. That's why people are still getting into this business. We have a new agent that's going to join us tomorrow, brand new. And that's one thing I told him is, it's a great time to get in this business. And he said, why? I said, because we're still doing a bad job of following up with our own clients. I mean, right? If you went into a market and said, I want to open a restaurant here, and so that's great because people hate coming back to this restaurant, but it's the only place to get pizza, but it's just terrible. So we'd love to have another pizza joint, and it's real easy to generate business. Real estate is simple. We just think people aren't going to call us back or need us for another couple years, so why am I going to spend like $20 a year keeping up with them? Well, then you get a bunch of clients and it's hard, and then there's other excuses. And look, hey, I did that too. I'm not perfect. I should still be following up with people I did business with years ago, but Alan won't let me hire a personal assistant. So it's not in the budget or something. But it's hard, but it's also really easy to do. And if you think about looking at setting some activity goals, that's so much easier than setting a production goal, right? Oh, look, I just want to do 2 notes a day. I'm going to send out 2 or 3 pieces a month. I'm going to make a couple phone calls a day. Those bottom two you probably already do, but the top one you may not do. It could just be a note to someone you closed or someone you met with. And if you don't have that many people, then guess what? They're going to be getting a lot of notes. And they're going to think, well, maybe maybe you don't want to write 2 notes to someone each month. That may be a little overboard, but you get the point. It's not the amount of people that you're working with. It's just the activity that you're doing and what can happen because of that. So I want to challenge you all to think about that when you're looking at going from the transaction mindset to the referral mindset, because I promise you, this is where everybody wants to be, but we just get stuck here. So after that transaction's done, you're going on to another transaction and to another, and we just forget about the things we're supposed to do. So look at your activity plan, and maybe that will help you move closer towards the referral mindset and generate some referral business from your clients. Even people you hadn't done business with, just your friends, people you know. Now, if one of my friends wrote me a note once a year, said, hey, I'm just thinking about you, I hope business is great, I promise you, I would stop and think, wow, that really made me feel good. What can I do? What can I do to help this person? That stuff really is powerful, and it can make a big difference in your business. So challenge y'all to think about that over the next couple weeks. And if we can help you with any of this or come up with some ideas, we'd love to do that. So I want to thank y'all for being here today with us this morning. Thank you.